Hello friends, welcome back to the Yuan campaign in Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires. Yes, it has been a little while, but we're going to continue this. We're actually fairly close to victory. We kind of just need to end enough turns to build up Star Tower, and we do have to go retake the Southern Sentinels, though. We got a big pushback from Gorok and Itza that I hadn't properly prepared for, and I do have an army moving in that direction, but this army will not be able to defeat Gorok. They would need some additional capability. I don't really have any additional recruiting capability along the way. However, with me swimming in income, I could take something like, for instance, the Golden Colossus here, and I could put in some better buildings in terms of allowing me to do some recruiting. It would slow down growth in this province, which is unfortunate, but would give me some much-needed capability. But I will try and minimize the slowdown of growth, and I will try and hit the income, because income will hurt me less. But like, see, if I tear down these two buildings, that'll give me some potential recruiting facilities that I can use to make this army capable enough of taking on Gorok. In the meantime, we have quite a bit of work to do still here in retaking things. We have a threat here from the Blood Swamps. There's pretty much not a lot of safe angles for us, unfortunately. I'm hoping maybe I can convince Wolfheart to go after some of those, and then I can keep my focus where it needs to be. We have to hold the Star Tower, and we have to hold the Southern Sentinels if we want to pull this off. Let's go ahead and go take a look at some of the movement potential we have. I need to zoom in here. So Yuan Bo, I moved Yuan Bo to protect the Star Tower from this force here. Now that one may double back and just retake the Fuming Serpent, which I don't like either. But if I have to lose one of these, I would rather lose the Fuming Serpent. What I worry about is if these lizards move first, they take the Fuming Serpent and then allow Marcus Wolfheart to basically steal my settlement, which may happen there. We'll see. I hope that's not the case, but it very well might be. I'm going to go ahead and do this Nangao Forges so that we can open up some of this last tech tree over there. I do have 4 steel tokens here, and if we go take a look at Matter's Estate, that would allow us to declare a fortress city. So if we target a tier 3+ provincial capital, it gains improved defenses, and each time we declare a new one, you get an extra token on the other side. So that could actually be pretty important here. As far as that, we have levy provinces. We can rush construction somewhere, which might be good. Could the Star Tower be? No, it's not high enough level to be, what do you call it, turned into a fortress city. There is already a little bit of recruiting down here, actually. I don't know if we can beat Gorok down there, and it would be risky to recruit that close to him. I might just go ahead and work towards defenses here instead, just to try and slow him down. I think I'll focus the Golden Colossus, and maybe we want to have a point... honestly, the Great Turtle Isles might be the place to declare the fortress city. That way we can protect it, because it is one of our key locations. But I think technically we've already accomplished what we needed to here. I don't know if you have to continue to hold it or not. I think I will go ahead and just declare it at the Great Turtle Isle. Let's go into Matter Estate, Fortress City. Let's declare it there. And if anything, that'll help. That'll help the settlement. Did we declare it? Insufficient tokens. Oh, we already did it though, I think. Alright, so that should have made the Great Turtle Isles a fortress city. I don't know where it shows that wall strength. Colony. Yeah, because we used it, and then it forced those tokens over there. Let's see. I don't see any additional defenses there. Where does it tell you that it was a fortress city? Action performed. Settlements, ambusher, stolen, military alliance, caravan encounter. Well, I was hoping it might acknowledge the fact that we turned it into a fortress city. I think it did, because it gave us an extra token there and it moved the stuff over, but I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully I didn't screw something up there. I may very well have done that. We have a pretty good amount of money left over. I'm trying to remember, we had some Norskins back here that we need to be rid of with Miao Ying. I'm going to kind of move up on them make sure that I replenish these artillery units because the AI is kind of cheating me on them. And then we have a Zinchi army headed this way. So unfortunately, we've kind of got a mess coming from two directions, but we will deal with them. The Zinch army is not going to be able to do a whole lot. I was rearming the armies along the wall. So like this one managed to get its Celestial Dragon Guard into it, finally. We really need access to be able to recruit the Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen, but we are not quite there yet. Basically anywhere, so I need like to get to the highest tier building in order to pull that off, and I may go ahead and put that there to help with some growth. In fact, I could come over here and rush the construction of that at the Snake Gate. That'll help me get more growth there. So, and then that'll also use some of my tokens, help shift them around. We should be able to get a trade city next and continue to increase our token usage as those become available. I'm going to go ahead and do some building here as well. Look at the top tier. Fire Rain rockets will be absolutely devastatingly wonderful for my troops. I'm just trying to get a look at army deployments. Yeah, we had this army back here. It's not a very good army. We've got to use it to kind of keep an eye on this territory back here. We still have those elves who won't really deal with us. They do want a non-aggression pact right now, though, so we will take that. I don't want them fighting us at the moment. And we can probably build any number of buildings, but I'm going to actually save a little bit of cash. And probably just go ahead and end a turn here. Celestial Patchy was needing to fix up recruiting. I might trade one of these for a Fire Rain rocket when that becomes available. Otherwise, the only thing else I could want here would be some Celestial Crossbowmen, so that we get the armor piercing. Same thing here. We want those armor piercing crossbows because they are going to make a tremendous difference in our ability to knock down elite armies. We're going to have unassigned skill points that we'll need to handle. Our Grand Caravan Master is one of them. We're going to increase their cargo capacity. And let's check for other skill points. I do not see any.
A tool of great efficiency.
Says we have an outpost upgrade available with the Tomb Kings. Might as well. I've worked on a little bit of friendly recruitment from them. I'm getting a couple of their units in. Bone Giants would be amazing. Yeah, this is not surprising. We're just gonna start getting rolled up on by Gorok. We're gonna have to move to intercept him. But my troops are kind of out of position, but we can't be slow because Marcus may go around us and then cause us to have to fight him in order to get a hold of the settlement that we need, and I really don't want to end up in that position. I guess the vampires snuck back up on me here with a bunch of troops, and I'm not particularly prepared to fight this one. It's a little bit frustrating because my troops were off elsewhere. I don't really want to lose this, and I'm not 100% sure if I can win it, though, because our army is so pathetic here. Be fair, though, if we deal with the Mortis engine, the Blood Knights, there's not a whole lot in his army that can really hurt us that badly. I've got 5 armored infantry if we back up into a corner, and as long as we deal with those units, I want to say we have good magic here. Yeah, we got Final Transmutation. And then on our leader, yeah, we've got Wall of Wind and Fire. So, I mean, we can handle a lot here, potentially. It depends on if they're making me fight in the settlement. They are not. That's actually good. I don't want to fight in the settlement. Like, if I get right back here in this corner, I don't think the vampires can take us. Let's try it. An extremely defensible position here. Let's take care of that. I'm going to intermix the... Actually, I'm not. I'm going to keep the swordsman for a second line. I'm going to intermix the spears and halberds for a front line. I may leave 3 units in reserve. I can't deploy all the way back here. I'll have to run back there after we get to deployment. But again, it's an extremely defensible position. I'm going to move all these units back. Our Lord is flying, which won't honestly do me a ton of good. We have a huge magic reserve. That's good. We start with 22 down in the pool, and then we have a reserve of 110. So that's nice. That'll give us potentially multiple units of Final Transmutation. I don't believe we can overcast Final Transmutation, but we still have it. and it will be really good at getting rid of the enemy single entities. I hid my Lancers off over in the woods with the intention of striking late with them. The vampires are going to want their reinforcements. Let's take our infantry and kind of create a line here. And this little structure will create a bad position for the AI to have to maneuver around. This forest, though, not ideal for me, as it could provide some cover to some vampire units, but this will allow me to set up in a double line. I can bring in the lion here for support, my lord right over the top, and then we have our archers that can sit in the back and get, you know, good fire. It's not a great position for our guns, but what I will do is I will position a gun unit. I could deploy just a little farther forward, actually, and I might. The reason I say that is because if I deploy like this, the vampires really can't get around me, but that creates kind of like this little bit of a hill right here where I can set up my gunners to get good over-the-top shots from this hill, and then I can provide them some protection with a lion. Then my additional infantry will still be able to cover them as well, I believe. Yeah, that'll work, and I still maintain a couple of additional infantry units, and then I can bring my Lancers out as needed as well. Hopefully they don't spot my Lance cavalry over here. They might, depending on how they approach me. Let's take our archers into a defensive stance, and let's take our guns into a defensive stance. The magic recharge is going to need its time. We've got lots of damage potential. We've got Searing Doom, which is very cheap. We do have Overcast, Final Transmutation. We've got Constellation, which is going to cause massive damage, possibly to my own troops. Wall of Wind and Fire is a good one, because it'll travel down a line and do a ton of damage to unarmored units. Not exactly sure how that terrain plays into Wall of Wind and Fire. I am potentially excited about this gun position, depending on whether or not it works out, but sometimes you can get a little bit of a high ground. Your guns can keep firing. Let's just fast forward. I will see you all in a few minutes once the vampires cross the map. A little bit concerned here. The vampires are approaching their Blood Knights. Instead of going around the same way as the Cairn Wraiths, the AI chose to go the other direction around this rock, and it's possible they might spot my Lancers up here. If they do, I've got to vacate in a big hurry. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. They are probably very close to making that spot. Yes, piece of crap. They just barely caught him. That's frustrating. Their Blood Knights are actually a hair faster than me too, but I'm hoping those trees will slow them down just enough for me to make a getaway. That is extremely frustrating. The vampires got lucky there. They shouldn't have really seen me. I was hidden well in the woods. The AI just decided to move their units around that rock that other direction, and they got a lucky spot here. I'm going to lose a few Lancers to the Blood Knights because, again, our speed is insufficient. What I might be able to do, though, is pull that Blood Knight right across my gunners and give my Iron Hail gunners an opportunity to pay back the Blood Knights for their BS here. Alright, so it looks like they have given up their pursuit. I'm going to try and dog them into continuing that pursuit, so I'm actually going to take these 3 units and probably just fall back like right here in between, and then I'm going to take this unit and see if we can tempt those Blood Knights on up here. Crushing that Blood Knight with a salvo from the Iron Hail gunners would be an absolute blessing for me, and would pay some huge dividends here early, and I do believe the vampires are going to fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker here. Get them! Sink them! See if we can get some shots on that unit as it falls back. I don't have a great arc of fire here, unfortunately. I do have the high ground. This unit's saying it's blocked partially. This one just won't fire, even though I swear they have the opportunity to. I hear other fighting, so I had to pause it real quick, make sure I wasn't missing something somewhere. But I mean, at least we're going to take that Blood Knight out early. Can't beat that with the stick. And we took almost no losses to hit points or anything there, and we absolutely collapsed a Blood Knight. That bat might try and come up over the top and just, you know, go straight for some of my missile units. I do have my Lord to help intercept that as well. We've sucked down almost the entire magic reserve. So we've got 94 winds of magic. It's going to have to be used intelligently. That Mortis engine will have to be a target. We're going to have to take them out. I wonder if I can lure in. Yeah. I want to lure these units in. Let's see if we can get their attention. Come on. This lion would actually be... Or never mind, it doesn't have magic attacks. I thought it did. I felt like the lion should have magic attacks, but it does not. We want to lure these units in and get them shot. Like, we don't want to get touched by those Cairn Wraiths, though. They have frostbite. So if they touch me, they're going to take my speed down considerably. But we are very close to luring them in gun range. I'm going to keep kind of just teasing them, like getting right in their face. There we go. I think I've lured them up into range. The Iron Hail Gunners have a good amount of ammunition, and I mean, it's free pain that I can cause the vampires if I can bait them into this nonsense. So they have fallen for it there. The vampires have some cavalry just kind of sitting over here. Let's pump them full of arrows at the moment and see if we can convince them to charge early. The guns are helping against the Cairn Wraiths, because remember the Cairn Wraiths, it takes magical damage to really do good work on them, so I don't mind the Iron Hail Gunners doing it for me. This did get the cavalry's attention over here, and that cavalry is now going to start sucking up a bunch of arrows and then charge headlong into braced halberds. That's not exactly going to go well for them. I'm not doing a good job, though, of getting all of the bonuses here, the yin-yang bonus. There is a White King over here. That's not ideal for me. There's a Mortis engine approaching. This halberd over here is going to get a little overwhelmed, probably. That White King is an issue. Give me just a second. I'm going to kind of consider how I want to kill that White King. He's going to be great in melee. The Mortis engine, though, has to be a target here. I'm going to actually pull my Lancers back a little. My archers get a little closer up over here. We've got to focus fire the Mortis engine. Then I think what we want to do is probably go ahead and do one of our final transmutations on the Mortis engine and the cavalry over here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I would have liked to have used that on the White King, but that's not really going to be an option here. Let's use our Lion and do a little extra damage. We're holding okay over here at the moment. I do have a sword unit that I can throw in here as well, and I will. I'm going to bring that sword unit up into a defensive stance and kind of come plug this secondary, and I'm going to try and get way up high on top of that hill. Actually, we need to shoot those Cryptors right there. So the Mortis engine is gone already. That is really good news for us. I'm going to turn my peasant archers a different direction. We have this flank totally secured. I'm utterly unconcerned at the moment. I might try and do some quick damage. That guy's on a horse, though, unfortunately. We have a nice little buildup of enemy troops over here. Constellation of the Dragon is pretty expensive. Again, our spells are going to have to be used very efficiently. We don't have unlimited winds of magic here. We are taking a lot of damage. Over here, that Morngul Hunter, let's target that, because that's a leader. Or the Morngul, it's not a Morngul Hunter, just a Morngul. Let's target the Morngul. I'm going to throw some more units. I'm going to cycle some cavalry charges into some of these. We're actually getting a little bit banged up here. Some of our peasant spears are collapsing already. This one is better for like a big blob. We also have to save a little bit of our magic. We've got to take down the other two leaders back there. It's going to be critical to our success. The Lion has used its spells, so they can go ahead and help fight in melee here. Got both of my reinforcing units already committed. My unit over here is getting a little bit overwhelmed. I kind of feel like I have to go ahead and do this because it's going to damage these vampires so badly here. Let's go ahead and drop the Constellation of the Dragon here. It's going to delete like 4 units. My unit was basically already dead, so I feel like that's a win-win for me. And then there is another, about to be even larger blob of vampires right there that we could drop another Constellation on in 22 seconds. Let's go ahead and hold the Iron Hail Gunners. The enemy leadership is coming up. Let's take off fire at will. Get ready to charge or to focus fire some enemies. Let's cycle our cavalry up out of here. Cycle in a fresh unit of cav right there. Our peasant units are not going to be able to hold the line. Our Jade units will be able to hold the line. We now have a very large blob right here, which is just absolute clickbait. I can't help myself but to drop that. Unfortunately, my own units are in the line of fire. I'm going to pull them back if I can. I don't know if they'll get out in time, but I'm going to try and avoid as much damage there as possible to my own units, because I do believe that spell will cause friendly fire. Unfortunately for me, their leaders are coming through the forest, which is going to give them cover from my... Oh yeah, that was timely and destructive, like absolutely crushingly destructive. That already put me up on the power bar. I'm going to go after their White King here. So that was an absolutely merciless killing blow there, and we've got a lot of their units in a waiver. I'm going to use a Wall of Wind and Fire here to mop the rest of that up. And then what I'm going to do is target Helman Gorst, and then I'm going to take this character and I'm going to drain both of them with Final Transmutation. So we just basically finished mopping up that flank. This character here has already got almost 500 kills. We've got another Constellation of the Dragon, and I can use it right out here to crush this flank. We've still got quite a lot of magic, which is good. We're going to need it. Why are you guys not shooting Helman Gorst? Alright, so that crushed another flank, and the vampires are done. They have had it, so they had no way to deal with my magic, and we made them pay an extremely dear price. One that I'm happy to extract from them. So sometimes these battles where it says you're going to lose, you're not necessarily going to lose. And you can win. There will be times where it says you're going to lose, and you probably will lose. But, you know, you got to be able to know how to pick the ones where you can win. Alright, well, that was an excellent victory for us. I'm going to go ahead and replenish, because it's always hard to say whether the vampires have like 2 or 3 more stacks behind them, and they often do. So we're going to need to be ready to fight. See what else pops up during this turn in. I'm really most curious what happens with Gorok and Marcus, which I think already took place. We had a settlement sacked, the Mangrove Coast. Yeah, that's not surprising. Not surprising. It looks like Marcus took us up on the offer to go after the Blood Swamps, which I'm happy about. And that's going to leave me relatively safe over here at the Star Tower, at least for the time being. So we've managed to capture and hold them down. I really need to turn the attention of Yuan over to retaking the Southern Sentinels. I just can't get too hasty and leave the Star Tower wide open to destruction as well. I'm going to pull out of the Star Tower and head over to the Altar of the Horned Rat and go make a push against Gorok. We certainly have to make that push. It's going to leave the Star Tower a little bit vulnerable at the moment. I'm working to gain control there. What I may do is go ahead and recruit a Lord. And probably a Celestial General.
Celestial General.
And then, can we get any heroes here? I don't know whether we can recruit heroes locally. No, we can't. We just don't have it. And we probably don't have it anywhere else nearby as well. So I do have this Lord here. He's probably not going to be able to recruit much, but we can at least kind of hold together the kind of, what do you call it, the happiness here by placing that Lord and starting to give him a little bit of an army. It'll be something's better than nothing there, in my opinion. We'll find out whether or not my opinion's correct, but that is my idea there. Now, at the Golden Colossus, I need some good recruiting. We're going to need to get a hold of good units. I'm unfortunately not up at tier 4, which would allow me access to far better units. So I've got to just take what I can get here at tier 3 to do well against my enemies. And the best I can get at tier 3 is Jade Warrior Halberds, which honestly, that'd be pretty good. The only downside there is them not having a shield. And then I could also get war drums and cannons and crane guns. So I think the 2 buildings I'm going to focus on, I'm going to put an artillery building in here. And then I'm going to come over to this settlement that just finished upgrading to tier 3, and I'm going to put in a standard barracks. We'll go ahead and improve the defenses there, just in case the enemy starts to push us. And that's really probably all we need to build recruiting-wise, which means that I might go ahead and focus a little more on some growth here. Let's get some growth headed in, and we'll go ahead and improve the defenses all across this province. So this army could get some better troops soon, not yet. And as far as what else to do, I can do some global recruiting, and I probably should, because I'm going to be here for a number of turns. Like, for instance, I could go ahead and start stacking some really tough units in this army. Well, let me think here about what I'm going to be able to have access to down here. The Jade Warrior Halberds. And Terracotta Sentinels would be a big go-get, and Fire Rain Rockets would be as well. And I'm not going to be able to get anything near that good locally. If I'm going to sit here for 4 turns, we probably want to get the most bang for the buck against the lizards. We would want 1 cannon, probably 1 Fire Rain. But like a couple of Terracotta Sentinels would be brutal to get a hold of. So I'm going to go down that road and see what we can get. So there we go. Now, could I potentially get a hero from one of these settlements? Not yet. We could certainly use some magic down here to support these armies, but don't really have a great place to recruit it from at the moment. At least not anywhere near where we need to be. It looks like
Don't be a fool.
the
No.
Vampire Coast bypassed us at the High Sentinel and is trying to work around us and get to other settlements. The High Sentinel is definitely the weakest settlement around, though. They're not going to be able to take the Isle of the Crimson Skull. If they get ashore, Spectasuma is fairly weak because it really hasn't been built up at all. So let's build Spectasuma, take advantage of those gemstones. I might kind of go into a ambush stance here. See if we can lure them in anywhere, but we're going to need to defend Spectasuma. Tick around. So Celestial Patchy at the current doesn't have anything to do. He's just kind of waiting to rearm with the Fire Rain rockets, which will come in a few turns. There's not anything super pressing, but I mean his army is mostly finished. We could leave this army to guard the wall.
Attention.
We could start force marching Celestial Patchy in the direction of this shrine, like to get his help here sooner, because Miao Ying has to deal with the rest of the incursion of the Norskins here.
Might of the storm.
So let's deal with that. To auto-resolve these guys, retake Saisu. Or Saisu, however we pronounce it there.
Make a watchtower of it.
Awesome. So we secured the Warpstone Desert yet again.
Majestic defender.
Shenyang is actually safe at the moment. Don't need this building here. Let's actually improve our defenses at Shenyang. Take the improved trade. Miao Ying is short a couple of units. There's not anything super helpful she can get there. We're there. We're there. Yeah, none of that is going to be particularly useful. She'll be alright without having a full stack at the moment. This army picked up some sepulchral stalkers and stuff, which is always good. I might want to continue building this army a little, even though it may not be a particularly strong one. Just so that we have something to kind of keep some of these settlements safe and out of harm's way here. Pomei is getting close to being able to go up to tier 5, which would also be really helpful. Wei Jin can hit tier 4. Let's go ahead and do that, and that'll probably be good. As far as my spend, let's see about the compass. It's pointed towards the Warpstone Desert, which is helping with caravans at the moment. And what else would be handy right now? That's helps us against attrition. This one gives us the Celestial Intervention whenever we're in our own reason, and sets the Dragon Emperor's Wrath, but that only affects units beyond the Great Bastion, unfortunately. This one gives us control and income, and this one's going to give us growth. I'm assuming that builds up over time, the growth, because right now it's not really anything good. Army Replenish Raid and Cathay. And then we get Ancestral Warriors. Ancestral Warriors would be pretty cool too. Got some unassigned skill points to handle. The turn-ins, of course, get a lot longer towards the end. There's a lot more to do at the end of every turn. Let's do the Enhanced Metallurgy. Got an improvement here on our Dragon-Blooded Shugengen Lord, who killed... Oh, this was the one who really needed some global recruitment, but we will have to do with what we have here. Let's do Arcane Conduit. And Miao Ying picks up a skill point here too. Done Quartermaster and Great Bastion, which is good. We've got Sure Aim and Unyielding. Let's go ahead and hit some magic here. Or actually, of Majesty takes away melee defense of enemies. That could be really nice. Let's do that, and we'll start working on some of her special skills there. Since we have buildings available, I'm not concerned about the buildings. We do have a commandment available. Xing Yang, let's work on some control. Damage buildings. There's not much I can do about that at the moment. Which army was it? Yeah, the one that fought the vampires. Let me head back over there, because this situation we didn't mess with last turn, and we probably need to. The vampires are quickly building up more forces back here. I don't really have the ability to recruit anything particularly useful, unfortunately. How are we doing here? This army has replenished and could make a move towards Ruin's End. That would complete this and get rid of some vampires over here, but it's going to be...
It is acceptable.
It's going to be a lot of attrition.
Allocate shifts as required.
So I'm going to move this way and see if we can take care of Ruin's End. Got a secure border back here, Flayed Rock now, well under our control. We actually are about to be able to have some pretty sick recruiting here for that other army. And if I move up here, I believe we can stall the vampires' continued efforts. So I think, yeah, that's going to put the vampires behind the ball there. So I think we're safe in that vicinity. Let's go ahead and end our turn, and we might be able to soon finish off the Caravan of Blue Roses. They are always a mess for Cathay to deal with because just the sheer rate at which they spawn more troops. It's really quite astonishing. But I mean, they are a vampire horde, and it does make them feel, I think, kind of fun in terms of, like, you fight a lot of big battles against giant hordes. And I'm not surprised here. These guys are just going after my weak settlements. That's all they can do. It looks like our caravan is going to be ambushed by the Puppets of Misrule. I could auto-resolve it, but it's not even going to begin to tell me the potential impacts of that. And it really just depends on what the Puppets of Misrule have brought to this battle, on how in danger I am, and whether they have ambushed me with more than one army. Let's go see. Oh, we're already being bombarded by Zinchi magic. I'm going to pause it real quick just to see what we've been done. So the AI is going to ambush me. I'm going to pause it and try and cheat them back. This is not looking good. They've got the Golden Griffin, Village, of course, Chaos Spawn. We got the Sour Guts, Exalted Pink Horrors. They've got the Knights of Immolation. They got a stinking big mess of crap over here too. The biggest problem here is my skirmishers are in a very untenable position. They're likely to be chased and destroyed. I'm going to start trying to run them away, and I'll try and keep a cavalry escort for them. We got bombarded immediately by Zinch magic, and I'm not surprised in the least. And I'm going to try and just, like, form up and get set over here. Caravan Master is a terrible unit, unfortunately. It'd be kind of cool if Caravan Masters didn't suck so hard. That'd be kind of a neat feature. But they do. They suck. Try and get them in here safe. Let's bring our hunters over there too. Yeah, we are getting absolutely crapped on. I'm not surprised in the least. Alright, I'm going to slow it down though, so that as we start to get pooped on here, I can try... I need to undo any blobbing where possible. The Golden Griffin went straight for my hunters. I don't think that was probably a smart move. In fact, I think it was a rather stupid move if I had to just venture my guess there. We have chariots pursuing us over here. It's an exalted hero, so I'm going to have to charge him with my cavalry. I'd love to get my units out of that fight. We've got missile units that are going to crush us, but we've got bigger things to deal with at the moment. So I'm going to try and pinch these units into that fight. I really want my Streltsy out of that fight. I'm going to try and give them some cover here. Come on, Streltsy, pull out of there. I'm basically peppering the Exalted Horrors over here, and I'm going to move up with my guns. The Golden Griffin is getting smashed up pretty bad. They've got a stinking Chaos Sorcerer back here. Oh, this bombardment is going to absolutely ruin us. We are blobbed up, and the magic bombardments are going to be real here. We've got to take out this Exalted Pink as quick as we can. We've got a Swords of Chaos that's probably going to beeline it over here. I cannot extricate my Streltsy effectively from this fight. I'm trying to. The longer this fight goes on, the better it should be for us. We've just got to keep my Lord alive and keep my heroes alive. Golden Griffin now is going to get stuck here. I have all of this Celestial Dragon Guard, which of course is extremely tanky. Very powerful stuff. But if it gets blobbed up and bombarded, you know, it's not going to be so powerful. Can you pop that Chaos Knight, please? They're trying to pull out of this fight over here with their chariot, at least it seems like it. They got an Exalted Hero on the Manticore there. I'm trying to down some of these mobile units. If we can get them down and force the AI to get stuck in a long-term fight. What the heck is that? Stupid Zinch magic. Let's see if we can bury the Golden Griffin. I'm gonna back up just a little bit here. Can my leader get into the Sour Guts, and would he be able to defeat said Sour Guts? I don't know. Gonna need all the infantry we can spare over here. We're about to get rid of the Exalted Pink. I cannot allow this Exalted Hero to get free. I'm getting some of my Streltsy out of that fight. And that Sword of Chaos is about to buy the farm here. I don't have any magic, unfortunately. Golden Griffin's going down. I can now turn and use my javelins on this War Shrine Sorcerer here. And hopefully pull him down. The Golden Griffin's getting chewed up, and Village is not in a great position either. But right here I've got some issues. We're getting wrapped up pretty good. Can I shoot this Exalted? Oh, no, shoot the Knights of Immolation. Just get out of that fight. Get out of that fight. Okay, shoot the Knights of Immolation. So I'm going to target everything on the Knights of Immolation. We drove out. Chaos. Okay, that has now forced the Sour Guts forward. We just took the shields off. Right, I've got it into slow motion, but we can probably turn that off now. There's no reason for that anymore. Okay. Knights of Immolation have got to go. We're now getting some firepower into the fight. Yeah, the Knights of Immolation are getting immolated, which is fine with me. We forced the enemy Sour Guts up into a melee, which is terrible for them. I'm now also getting some really good javelin shots into their War Shrine. Knights of Immolation almost gone. Almost gone. Let's just wheel up here. Don't go get into the melee. Their Exalted Hero over here is in big trouble. I might actually move my Bowman to start getting that other Exalted Pink. Sorry I'm in slow motion. I know it's not as exciting for you all, but I really want my caravan to fight its way out of this, if at all possible. This is a mess of a situation. Let's drop back and try and use this fireball. We got the javelins going in there. Let's see if we can get the fireball going too. Oh yeah, we just dunked on their Exalted Hero, and my Streltsy are now free as well. Yep, their Exalted Hero got absolutely dumpstered right there. That was perfect. And now I can move these up here. I think the Knights of Immolation are gonna be gone. we're about to send them back to the realms of chaos. Hopefully Tzeentch is running low on magic, but it's Tzeentch, so counting on Tzeentch running low on magic is never a safe bet. That Swords of Chaos somehow managed to, yeah, look, see, there comes more magic. That magic's really the only thing that's hurting my infantry. Otherwise, my infantry are extraordinarily capable here. That's going to rout the Chaos Sorcerer. Let's start focusing on the Chaos Giant. And that goes the Knights of Immolation, and I can now open fire on the Exalted Pink Horrors, and we can now wheel up with the Streltsy, and we can wheel up closer with the guns. So Knights of Immolation gone. Let's help finish off that dude. Okay, here we go. We are maybe gonna win. It won't be a pretty win if we do win, but we might win. Those Exalted Pinks ought to start going down relatively quick. I could probably use... let's actually use the guns here and here. And then the Streltsy. We're going to start focusing down key units here. The Giant is going down. Let's see if we can finish that Sorcerer with a couple of Javelins here as well, because he's going to try and come back from routing. I don't know if we'll get a shot. If we do, that'd be great. Yep, there we go. He came back right when the Javelins got there, so that was pretty good timing. The Knights of Immolation somehow still alive. I can't say I fully understand that. Let's go get into those Exalted Pinks so that our archers can redirect their fire elsewhere. Let's bring these guys in. So this is going to be a clutch victory if ever we've had one. I'm going to actually go for that Sorcerer with the Fireball. There we go. Got to get rid of that Knights of Immolation real quick. I don't know how that unit was still alive. That's frustrating. There they go. They're utterly gone. We got the Feral Manticore. And now Village the Curseling is going to be our main threat. There's still that Sword of Chaos unit still running around in there. Somehow lived through all that as well. We're going to focus on the Chaos Giant because he's the next largest target. Let's get the Sour Guts right here. And I'm going to focus Village here with some of my Javelin Fire. That Sorcerer is still getting it. Sour Guts are going to go down to a hail of gunfire. Those Exalteds are actually killing me over here. Not surprised. My units were very weak on approach. Move. Run. See if we can avoid some of that. It's tracking me, unfortunately. I don't want to fight Village over here. I don't know if I can run away from him or not. I'm going to attempt to. I'm being pursued by a Chaos Troll over there too, as well as Village. Leave me alone. I got 57 speed. I can outrun Village. I'm not sure if I can outrun that Troll. Okay, there we go. That Manticore came back, of course. Every unit they have has gotten to come back multiple times. And we are just trying to finish off the Severed Claw in that melee. Let's pepper this guy. Pillage still had magic somehow. Wow. This late into the fight still has magic. That is as convenient as I've ever seen something be for the AI. Let's get ready to gun down Village. We're going to start pulling him this direction. He's going to get a charge off on me over here. Get away from Village, please. Real key here, hopefully, is that I don't lose any units. Yeah, let's come over here. Let's line up all of our missiles for a Village kill here. I'm gonna try and just beat these infantry out. Holy cow, man, that guy just does not run out of magic or abilities. That's another tracking ability probably that's coming down on me. Gosh, dang it. Just crushing me with magic. And then these guys didn't die. Zangors. They won't rout. Of course. Let's actually go ahead and start falling back here. And let's start repositioning guys back through here and here. I'm going to pull this all the way around. We've got to continue to bait Village. Somehow these guys are alive. Unknown how that's really possible. let's start pumping the damage into Village. Village is hoping to get some cheesy last-second kills on my heroes here. Is that another Zangor unit out there? It is. How frustrating. We are barely hurting Village here at the moment. I'll line up a kill shot on those Zangors. How does he still have magic left? Goodness sakes.
Peasant spearmen!
Shoot the Zangors, please. That's the end of the Zangors. Now we just gotta line up a kill box on Village. I've got everybody focusing on him that can focus on him. The longer this fight takes, though, the more likely he is to line up more of his bombardment army abilities that he's got. And just, man, the amount of fire this guy is taking is unbelievable. He does have a lot of armor and survivability, though, so I'm not particularly shocked. Village is fairly resilient in that regard. But we are going to get him. Not before he gets another spell off, though. Wow. Talk about a tight victory there. Yeah, get back out of here. That was a brutally close battle, and had I not saved my skirmishers from that initial ambush, so I could have easily been defeated by Village here if the deployment and focus of the AI was proper, which it was not. If they would have focused on my skirmishers, they win that walking away, no problem. My Iron Hail Gunners absolutely clutched this one out, as did my bowmen. My Streltsy didn't end up getting a ton, but they were still valuable late in that fight. Unfortunately, I used two Celestial Dragon Guard that were 9 Chevron. That is a horrible loss for me and super frustrating, and that army is now extremely vulnerable, so that was a very costly ambush for me by Tzeentch. Like, I know that he didn't win, but almost feels like they might as well have, okay, they want a trade agreement, I'm okay with that. I'd rather improve my relationship with them rather than have to fight them.
But you will.
I don't know who you are or why you want the peace treaty, but I guess, sure. They're all the way across the map, though, I think. Whatever, I'll just take the peace treaty for the moment. I don't know where they're at, and I don't want to end up with issues behind my lines. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and take the long way. Like, losing some treasure here is worth trying to salvage this caravan. We don't have anything left in the gas tank with that caravan because of that Tzeentchian ambush. And all we can do is hope to pick up some units. I was in an encamp stance. Like, how did I end up in the water here?
Unfurl the sail.
Must have misclicked there or something.
I permit you to rest.
That's really strange. And it cost me a whole extra turn, so more than a little frustrated with that. Still a couple of turns before I have anything good to recruit here. I'm just going to leave these two armies. In fact, I may try to lure the enemy into an ambush here with the Iron Dragons. So let's set an ambush. Because the vampires, of course, already have their next armies stood up and ready to go. It's never more than a turn or two for them. And they are just right back into action. Like, there won't be any serious delays for them. Just going to stack up some basic units there to help hold the Star Tower in terms of public order. And then this army can now start collapsing back down towards Southern Sentinels. And the Southern Sentinels is my main target. It's tempting to go for Oxyotl here because we could kind of cut off a major settlement for him. It depends on what he's got back there. Southern Sentinels obviously is the real objective here. This army's doing some recruiting. We have this built, but we need to build more. Growth over there. Okay. So that army still has multiple turns before it's going to be anywhere near ready to help come further up and help against Gorok. But, I mean, we are at least headed in the right direction against Gorok. This army continued to push around towards Spectasuma. Just go keep an eye on it with this army. High Sentinel certainly needs more cover when the time comes. This army's not great, but it can be used to hold these guys at bay. Let's see, Lord Not Move. That's going to be Celestial Patchy.
General.
That was the Shrine of the Alchemist where we got
Havoc
hit.
with readiness.
Let's see, this stupid desert's gonna cause us attrition. Yeah, there's nowhere that doesn't end in attrition over here unless I go south, which is not the direction that I need to go, so not much of a choice but to come out here and then just kind of head out into the desert and then make that crossing over the next couple of turns. Where was it? Was it Pomei? We were close to being able to build up. We need 15,000, but we also are still lacking like a growth point there. So Pomei is coming along nicely in terms of potentially becoming a tier 5 settlement, which we definitely need. Let's get the Alchemist compact here.
Even now, we learn.
Building upgrades, outpost upgrades. Guess I'll go ahead and upgrade my outpost there. Not a huge deal one way or the other. We got unassigned skill points. I would imagine our Caravan Master picking those up. Might go ahead and throw some of those into Unyielding to help his infantry out in the future.
A worthy addition to
Damn,
my
that is a
arsenal.
rough position for this caravan to be in. They are going to take some horrible damage on this trip. That is not where we wanted to be with that caravan. That was one of my best ones, and it got savaged in that ambush by Tzeentch. But that's the cost of doing business, I guess.
Before you incur the Celestials' deadly wrath.
So Malekith, I'm assuming, is declaring war on us? No, he wants a peace treaty. Really sure why I'm at war with him in the first place, to be honest. So, I guess so. I don't really have any interest in that war at the moment. And I don't think it's one that's going well for him, if I just got a quick look on that overhead there. Let's see what we can finish up here. Our ambush worked, so we're going to get a quick knockout of Elmagorst. Remember, he was defeated and destroyed only like a turn or two ago, and he's already back with a full stack.
Duty and unity.
Vampires indeed, raising those hordes of undead time after time. Legion of the Gore Queen is attacking the Exiles of Heck. We'll enter on their side just to keep our reputation up. We don't want to drop our reputation. Whew, busy episode. Not a whole lot done in terms of like provinces and stuff, but we did get some important stuff taken care of. We won some critical battles, which no one can deny that it was important. Oh, we can speed recruitment, can we not? Let's go to the Matters Estate and levy the provinces. Instantly completes a turn of recruiting here. That will help speed that along. Let's get out of here, please.
Attention.
Okay, yeah, now we're only one turn away from some of those critical units, so
Instrument
that's
of the
good
divine.
news. We can build this to get to War Drums in 3 turns. We're 1 turn away from being able to get Jade Warrior crossbows, so we're about to be able to improve that army in a big hurry.
The Emperor's architect.
And we can attack
In
Oxiatl,
harmony
but it
with
kind of
the
depends on what's there and then what's behind there. 4 horned ones. The rest of his garrison, though, not very
Governor,
substantial.
An executioner.
This army is not insanely powerful. It does have good magic. It's got a decent sturdy line, good crossbows. Crossbows are quite damaging. It's not amazing, though. Like, this army is not
For Cathay.
insurmountable. Yuan Bo, though, is very powerful.
An execution. Imminent.
This is actually good. Those greenskins look like they have them busy. I can go ahead and start to mount a siege here. We're going to continue that
For the
siege.
Celestial.
We'll see if we can get in behind Gorok and kind of undermine him. I might want to give guys a target like over here, like just keep him away from the settlements that I need. So I'm gonna try and keep getting Wolfheart to go in the directions that I need him to. This is a little bit concerning having that behind me. What's the Star
Building
Tower
harmony.
looking like? We got a little bit of defense at the Star Tower. It's not amazing.
Celestial
We do have the Lord. It'd be nice to get some better units in here, and I can as soon as that global recruitment frees up, but for the time being, I'm just gonna stack up as much pain as I can there. The Fuming Serpent will certainly be vulnerable, but it's about to improve a little bit, at least. Let's head back over to Cathay. I'm gonna keep checking up on Pomei. We're just slowly getting close to tier 5 here. Nangao, still got a ways to go.
Shogun Gun
Snake
Lord
Gate.
reporting.
It's Turtle Gate's about to finish some important stuff there.
Leader of men.
Alright.
Favored.
Ying, so we're... Yep, alright, we're gonna be able to get up here and trap this guy. Even if he attacks me in this forced march, he's not going anywhere useful. I think we've got them right where we want them. This army is kind of just keeping tabs on the coast, and the coast is going for the Isle of the Crimson Skull, which is my strongest settlement in the vicinity, so not exactly the most brilliant strategic decisions to be made by the AI here. High Sentinel, I'm going to build in some defenses and then upgrade it because it is clearly going to be vulnerable to attacks over time. Zhao Ming picks up those points.
Brave.
Man, it's like we had been working on his magic. Get this magical reserves there. Let's see, Jade Dragon picks up a skill point. Looks like we were again working on magic with him. Net of Amontok Overcast could be quite good. What else do we got here? More skill points. Let's increase mobility. Seems like a good pick.
Land of fire.
Shifting. Okay, this army's looking pretty solid. Range discipline's never usually a bad idea either. Excellent.
The Iron Dragon.
Do we want to push with this lord? Probably so. And we definitely want to push here too. I can go ahead and take Ruin's End. It's unguarded. That'll help me get rid of all the vampiric corruption and stabilize this province. That was way more casualties than we deserved, but it is what it is. We'll replenish it relatively quick.
It suits my purposes.
I'm not worried about the logisticians. I'm more worried about replenishing quickly at this point. The vampires do have another stack down here. I think I'm probably just going to set another ambush here. And then with this army, haha, we finished some of our buildings here. Not all of them, but I think I can start recruiting some units that will be helpful here. So like, for instance, getting lions is certainly not going to be a bad thing. The jet lions are cool. I keep trying to convince myself, are they better? And the other, like, their bound spell is a projectile reflex. That's not going to be any good against the vampires. They have this disrupted, which takes away physical resistance and increases a miscast chance, which is cool if they're attacking like sorcerers and stuff. So I mean, that could be very specifically good if they get thrown into combat against like a necromancer or whatnot, but I don't always end up with them in that type of contact. Otherwise, the Jade Lions are better here because they're able to drop those spells and just really damage our enemies. And these single entities are good against the vampires, so I'm going to actually just go ahead and stack up a few more lions there. Leave that other one in an ambush, and then damage building I'm still not going to mess with because we're likely to be attacked there. Got building upgrades available, I'm not surprised. I am sitting on a little bit of money for whenever some of our settlements hit the larger capability. Let's actually... This one's corruption -5. Control is handy though, and corruption should drop quickly anyway with the absence of the vampires here, so I'll go ahead and count on it. Let's end this turn. I think that's going to be about all the time I've had, so I feel like we made some good strides, and we'll pick up the next episode right here. In fact, I'll save my game and see you all in the big fight here against Itza.